Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, I wanted to go over an updated Arachne cosplay Uzuri deck tech and just kind of give my thoughts on the hero and where I think she stands, and also some minor changes, very minor changes that I've made to the list. Speaking on my last video when I talked about cards like Censor, and just kind of give my thoughts as a whole on where Uzuri is. So if you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy it. If you're a long-standing supporter, y'all are amazing always. Feel free to check out the Patreon and the Discord down below. So getting into this, this isn't a whole lot different from my previous Uzuri deck techs. A couple minor card changes. I think Uzuri is in a pretty fine spot. I think there's a couple of different ways you could play Uzuri. This meta is about to be really different. There's no Oldheim, which was a bad matchup for Uzuri. And right now, Uzuri has a really good matchup in the Lexi, good matchup in the heroes like Azalea. Katsu is slightly favored, although Katsu can blow you out if you play him properly. But Uzuri is, I think, going to have, obviously, the Jeremiah matchup is not fun if it's probably a loss unless you really time your poppers well and play really efficiently. Even then, it's pretty hard to win. Prism likely will be a little bit easier just because you can pop her ward, but if she plays like a heavy aura list, that could also just be spell disaster for Uzuri. She pretty much dies at that point. So it really depends. I think she has a good matchup, and I think she becomes the control deck of the format. I don't see a deck other than maybe Tree Frog Dash that can out control her, while also being, because she can control both from a blocking perspective and from a proactive perspective. By making you get rid of cards from hand. So overall, I think she's in a good spot for that. But right now, nothing changed as far as equipment. I'm still running Mask of Pair Edition. You could definitely run Crown of Providence, but with my list specifically, I actually generate silver pretty decent, and I can get this back once or twice. Running Tunic is a pretty standard one. Flick Knives, Black Tick Whispers. We'll talk about the dagger. And for daggers, I only run Nerve Scalpel and Spider's Bite. I don't even know why they're in the sideboard at the moment. It's just kind of funny. I used to have like other daggers, but really I've just stuck to Nerve Scalpel, Spider's Bite. It's nice just having both. They're pretty much applicable in every single matchup. Almost everyone brings in D-Reacts against you. And unless you're playing a Dory or a Kano, Spider's Bite is pretty useful as well. So when it comes to the deck, the main changes I made, I added in blue Annihilate the Arm to help maybe combat Jeremiah a little bit. A lot of her dragons have 3 health, and being able to block out and then play a blue, or if you only have a blue off Tunic, being able to take out a dragon with just a blue is pretty good value. That matchup is still abysmal, but it still helps a little bit. I added Censor in, like I talked about in my last video for most impactful cards in Dusk Till Dawn. This card is fantastic in Uzuri. You can stealth it in, and you either A, can prevent a card you know they probably have. You can stop a Bolton from playing Lumina. You can stop if Alexi set up a 6-card hand and you see a flipped Endless Arrow, right? Being able to say you can't play that next turn, all that kind of stuff. Or simply, if you don't know it's in their hand, just telling a Phi they can't play Art of War, telling a Katsu they can't play Surging Strike. Those type of things really allows you to be more flexible and slow people down. And it's also a 3-block, right? And you can stealth it in or play it off a Tunic. It has a lot of applications. I think it's really good. The rest of the deck is just like being like a more efficient Arachne in a way, and being able to like stealth things in, really play mind games with your opponent. Cards like Shakedown. I have a good suite of shreds in here because I like to... Because I play like 0-cost contract cards a lot, and I can threaten those. If people want to try to somewhat block those, I can use Shred to make sure they guarantee the on-hit. And Shred's really good against Bolton because it helps his D-Reacts, and it helps for block because it's not an attack action. So it's really good block there, and I think Bolton's going to be really prevalent. Really minor help, but it does help. I main board Sinks now. Because, again, I'm trying to be a little bit slower, a little bit more control-y, and I think that Sinks are very needed in the deck right now, and I just don't feel like putting them in the side. I want them in the main. Everything else is pretty standard. I'm not running the red line list. All my stealth cards are blues. We have a total of 9, 12, 15... 15 stealth cards in the list, which is about where I want to be. You could go a little bit higher, like 18 to 21, but then you start getting hands with multiple stealth cards. I really want 1 stealth card a turn, so 15 to 18 is kind of my sweet spot. Even Eradicate I put in here because I have cards like Shred. I like being able to threaten this. You could not run this. Some people don't. I like the fact, especially I think we're gonna have a really aggro meta of decks that don't want to block, and so I think cards like Eradicate are actually gonna be really nice, and you're gonna be able to really like affect your opponent pretty consistently. And against like a Fi or a Katsu that doesn't want to block at all, you hit 2 Eradicates, you just took down almost a fifth of their deck, sixth of their deck in 2 turns. So, but this could obviously get swapped out. I'm just putting this in because I think we're gonna see a lot of aggro in the format. But yeah, overall, I'm super happy with the list. For my sideboard, I have Amnesia. This is really good against Prism and Jeremiah as a popper, but also it takes out the word Herald, right? If this hits, target hero card and tokens lose and can't gain names until start of the next turn, so they can't give their Heralds go again. And then even Jeremiah can't get, it has some good interactions with Jeremiah, and it's a 6 power 3 block. Frailty traps in for Lexi until she not becomes a thing. It's also very good against Kodachis and even in the mirror. Really good against that as well to shut off the daggers. I have Oasis in here for more controlling matchups, but also against Kano and Icelander, being able to use this is really nice. And then AB2. This deck will form and shape as the meta shapes because the meta is kind of unknown right now. I'm just kind of like slightly preparing for the meta. Having a total of 3, 6, 9 poppers in my deck is pretty good, but it actually might go up. Actually, yeah, 3, 6, 9 poppers, actually 10 poppers, kind of just 1 Death Touch. Is pretty good, but it might have to go up depending on how the meta shapes out. I only have 1 Death Touch in the list because I never want to see this card. I either want to block with it early and then codex it back into my arsenal, or I want to stealth it. So I don't ever want to just have this card in my hand. It's a 2 block that requires it to be an arsenal. You don't want to see it. So I want to search it or stealth it. So that's why I only have a 1 of. But yeah, there's some other things you could do with this list for sure. But I think that this is a pretty solid start. Let me know what you think about Uzuri, where you think she's at. It's pretty simple for me as far as wanting to play the contract list. The red line list I think could do well as well to keep up with the aggro decks, but I also think you could just really hurt the aggro decks and really throw off their game plan with what they're trying to do, especially now having access to Censor and like stopping a Fi from playing Art of War or stopping a Katsu from playing Surging Strike really hinders like their big power turns. Even if you don't know what's in their hand, you know they can't start with that card, which is really, really nice. Yeah. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If not, it's totally fine. Go to our Flesh Breaker, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff so you get what people see in this game. Let me know what you're excited with Uzuri in the new set, or you think she's in a good spot. She definitely was a meta deck coming into the set. We'll see if she's a meta deck coming out of it. But yeah, thank you all so much, and I'll see you all next time on TCG Talk. Thank you all.